Hey guys, Trisha here, and today I thought I would share with you my cake decorating toolkit. Now I just want to get this out there. You may notice that most, if not all, of my stuff is made by Wilton. I don't work for them. They didn't send me any of it. I'm not being paid to say any of this. It just so happens that there's not a lot of places where I live to buy this kind of stuff. Pretty much all there is Michael's and Walmart, and they both exclusively carry Wilton, so I just have happened to pick up a lot of their stuff. This is my toolkit that I hold most of my stuff in, everything that will fit into it. I love this thing. I bought this at Michael's. I believe they still make it. I think they call it a Caddy. I think that currently it's a different color. I'll find it online for you guys and put a link for you in the description. It's awesome. It is so easy to keep everything organized. So I'll just kind of take you on a tour of it. So it's got a nice handle so you can carry it around. It has these slots on the side that hold your icing spatulas. It's got a, let's see, slot for 2 small ones, 2 big ones, and then another big one in the center. And then same thing on the other side. So you can carry lots of spatulas. I don't tend to always keep my spatulas in here because it makes it really hard to store. I'd say my only complaints about it is it's an awkward height, so it doesn't fit easily into any of my cabinets. I just keep it in my hall closet up on the shelf, so which works fine. So, but when I'm not using it or taking it somewhere, I do keep these just in a drawer in the kitchen because they come in handy other times too. So then on the top, we've got these little snap open containers. This one I keep my couplers in. And this one on the back, I keep my little coupler tightening screw-on thingies. I don't know what those are called. Then we've got 2 sections for icing tips. So, and this holds all the kind of standard size icing tips. The larger ones I keep down in one of these little containers down here. I don't know if you guys would like me to go through all of my icing tips. If that's something that you're interested in seeing a video of, I can do that. So let me know in the comments if that is something you would like to see. I can give you all the numbers and kind of an explanation of what they all do. Okay, so that's the top of the box here. Then we've got these little pull-out drawer containers. The 2 on the outside each have 3 compartments. So in this one I've got all of my pearl dust in all different colors, which is really nice for making an edible paint for painting on fondant. It gives you a really nice, these are kind of old and stuck together. It gives you a really nice shimmery look. Then I've got a couple of things of sprinkles here. In this one I've got my larger, a rose nail. For some reason this is the only one I can find lately, and it's ridiculously tiny. I don't know where my other ones are. I might have to buy some new ones. Then I've got a couple of larger tips. This is very handy. This is a quick icer, and you put this in a piping bag. It's best to use the larger size piping bag if you have it. And then you can just really quickly frost the sides on top of your cake and then smooth it out, and it makes it a lot easier and quicker to put your base frosting on your cake. And then I've got a couple of large tips. I've got a number 125 rose tip, which is not the largest rose tip. I've actually been looking for a larger one, but this is all I could find at my local store. And then a 366 leaf tip. Then we've got a little container that is set up for food coloring. It is sized perfectly for the little Wilton pots of gel food coloring, and then it's got space underneath for more. And I actually just cleaned this out. I had a bunch of really old, kind of funky ones that I threw away, and went with my newer, and kept my newer set. So I do need to start a collection of some natural food colorings. I know for my paleo viewers, these are, I'm sure, a no-no. I know they have corn syrup and bad stuff in them, all kinds of chemicals. So I will probably still use these occasionally for more special occasions and when I need really vibrant colors, because I have used natural food colorings before and they are difficult to get really good colors with sometimes, depending on the color. So I will definitely keep these, and until I get some natural ones, these are what I'll be using, but I am on the lookout for some good natural food colorings. Then I've got this container. I've got a little thing of toothpicks, which come in really handy when you're coloring frosting with the gel coloring, because they're not in a little squeeze thing where you can just squeeze out a drop. I like to use a toothpick to get the food coloring out, swish it around in my frosting. Then if I have to get more color in there, I will grab a new toothpick rather than contaminating my food coloring with frosting. So I can always have those with me. This thing, I have to say, is one of my most beloved cake tools. I guard this very carefully and do not let it out of my sight. I was given this, I think, by the instructor of the Michaels cake decorating course I took. That was the Wilton Course 1, and it is just a little block of wood with holes drilled in the top and my name on it. And what this is for is when you are piping roses or any flower where you're using a rose nail, you always want to set the thing down sometimes before you're done with the rose, for whatever reason. But you can't, because it has a spike on the bottom and obviously will not stand upright. So this is so you can pop that in there and let it sit and not ruin your rose, and go grab whatever you need to grab, do whatever you need to do your little finishing work, and you have both hands free. I love this thing. Love it. Then the rest of this container, I just have some Ziploc baggies, a couple different sizes, especially if I'm taking this somewhere. They're just handy to have in case you have extra frosting in different colors, extra fondant, or for any reason. They're handy. So I keep some of those in here. Then we've got the big drawer, which did come with some dividers, I think, that I may have lost. Yeah, I think it did. Those will probably come in handy because I tend to just throw a bunch of stuff in here, but I don't know what I did with them. So on this side, I've got a lot of fondant cutting tools. Little flower cutters, leaf press, which is a really cool thing for getting a leaf texture. When you cut out a leaf shape, you can then roll it with a little rolling pin like this, and you impress that leaf pattern onto your leaf. I just said leaf like 20 times. I've got lots of flower cutters, leaf cutters, all that good stuff. On this side, then I've got my piping bags, some scissors. I have these food writing markers. They are food coloring in marker form that you could draw directly onto fondant. I was really excited when I saw these. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I think I used them one time. They weren't quite as magical as I thought they would be. You can't, there's only a few colors, you can't mix colors. You get a really uneven look, at least that was my experience. These little rolling pins are really handy for rolling out small bits of fondant, for making small decorations, cutting flowers and stuff. I've also got a lot of paint brushes in here. I love to paint directly onto fondant. I find that's a really nice way to get interesting texture, and I love to use the pearl dust I was talking about earlier. So I always have paint brushes in here. I don't use paint brushes that have been used for paint or anything but food coloring. So definitely important. You don't want to be eating any paint or glue or whatever else people use paint brushes for. Then I've got these tools here. They all came in a set. So there's a couple of these kind of shaped like a pen. It's just rounded on one end, pointed on the other end. They come in super handy. And then the rest of these each have a different tool on each end. This one I haven't used much. It's got a little tiny wheel, pizza cutter kind of thing, and a little spiky round thing on the other end, like reminds me of a sewing, one of those sewing wheels. This, I tried using it once and it just got all gummed up and wasn't that great. But the rest of these are really handy, really good if you're making flowers, if you need to get in and do small detail work. Really good tool set. I'll also link you to that so you can see what I'm talking about. That's everything in my caddy. Then I have a few other things that I use. This is my big rolling pin, and I prefer a solid wood rolling pin like this rather than the kind with handles. I feel that you have more control, especially when you're rolling fondant. So this is what I use, nice and heavy. This is a rolling mat. I have gone through quite a few of these because I tend to roll out fondant and then cut it with an X-Acto knife on the mat, which they are not meant for. So if you do that, just know that you will ruin it eventually and possibly whatever surface is underneath, so be careful. But it's really nice for rolling out fondant. It's helping you measure. It's all in inches, and it also shows circle sizes and measurements for those as well. So just a handy little thing. Also nice to help keep from getting your table super dirty when you're decorating. These are flower forms. So these are for when you are making gum paste flowers. When you do gum paste flowers and you roll the pieces so thin until they dry, they may not want to hold up their shape. So that's why you set them into something like this to help it hold its shape as it dries. This isn't something I've done a whole lot, so I haven't used these that much, but these are just inexpensive little paint mixing palette dishes that I got from the art supply section, and I use these for mixing food color, different colors, and whatever. They're really handy. You could put whatever in these little things. Again, just make sure to get brand new ones and wash them, and don't use ones that have been used for paint. And this is my little turntable. Wilton also. This thing's well loved. It's kind of grungy. It works nicely. It's just one of the cheaper ones, nothing fancy, works really well. Still spins great, no problems at all. So yeah, so that's about it, other than, I mean, probably my most important cake tool, which is my KitchenAid. I love her. I feel like I should give her a name, but I don't know what, so if there's any suggestions, you can let me know in the comments. I always end up using other just things I have lying around the kitchen too, like regular knives for cutting fondant decorations, and my regular spatulas like this just for obviously scooping frosting, filling piping bags, and stuff like that. That is it for my cake decorating tools. I hope this was somewhat interesting, and let me know if you would like to see anything specific in more detail, or have any questions about any of them. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Tools here. Oops. Then I've got these tools here. They all came in a set. They each have